If you're a real estate agent and you're tired of cold calling, door knocking, and spending money on ads, then subscribe to this podcast. We discuss leveraging the power of YouTube for your real estate business and how these strategies earned us over $1 million in GCI our first year in real estate. My name is Levi Lascsak and my partner is Travis Plumb. Let's get started. Today, we're going to be talking with my good friend, Michael Bennett, all the way up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and how he sold 20 homes in 3 days and is now working on a 111 portfolio selling opportunity, and how you can do this as well in your market. It's not easy, but it's simple. And the concepts he's going to talk about is how he went from selling 50 transactions last year in his second year to almost tripling that in the first half of this year, and how he could do way more than that just from simply working with investors and selling packaged portfolio deals of single family homes. So this is going to be an absolutely amazing conversation, and I'm going to link all of Michael's information down below. If you want to book a call directly with Michael, you'll be able to do that. I'll also link some other ways to get in contact with him, but the best way is through Calendly or through booking a call. And the great thing is that Michael's a part of our EXP organization. So if you want to partner with him, then you get us included in that. It's a package deal, right? So maybe YouTube is not in the near future for you. You'd rather work on something like working with investors and selling 111 homes at once, but maybe you'll incorporate YouTube later. But also if you start doing that, that's an amazing channel that you could start in your area, and attracting investors through YouTube could be a powerful opportunity, and hardly anybody's doing that right now. So you're going to learn how Michael could triple his business in the first half of his third year compared to his second year, how he's doing that at really no cost, and how you could do this in your market as well. So let's jump into the video. All right, welcome my man Michael, a cheesehead from Green Bay, Wisconsin, right? Are you a cheesehead?
I am, but no jokes about Aaron Rodgers. He's gone. Let's move on.
He's dead to you now, right?
He's dead. Yep, he's dead to me. It's a love era now.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, cool. So Green Bay, Wisconsin, man. So what we want to really cover today is how you went from 50 transactions last year to with the opportunity to triple your transactions within the first 2 quarters of this year, how that happened. I mean, we're going to talk about portfolio investing, buying and selling multiple homes at once. Also, you sold 20 homes in 3 days, which I don't know a lot of people that can say that, maybe other than Brad, who sells like 500 homes in a day sometimes, but I mean, really tremendous. And right now you're working on a 111 single family homes as a package portfolio, right? So now you really found the sweet spot, to where last year you were working with individual homeowners, buyers and sellers, selling one house at a time, and then you stumbled into packaged deals, and you're kind of like, wait a second, 20 homes in 3 days. I kind of like that versus 50 in a whole year, right? So
yes.
So let's dive into let's start, before we jump into the 111, let's start with the 20 homes in 3 days. How did that come about?
Levi, it really came about. I got a phone call while out of town, and they asked if I'd be interested in selling some foreclosures.
Okay.
And quite honestly, I'd never sold a foreclosure before. I was doing the regular real estate and day-to-day single family, some duplexes. And I said, sure, how hard could it be? I said, tell me more. And they said they had 20 locations that were foreclosed on, and asked if I'd be interested in listing those and selling them for them. And so blindly, I said, yeah. Again, I was out of town, couldn't vet it, couldn't do anything. I said, sure, send me the information, send me a listing contract, and we'll get it done.
Okay. And they found you where?
Found me on Google, Google reviews, and found me on Google and looked me up.
Like a Google business profile, or?
Yeah, my Google business page. Yep. Home by Bennett is my Google page, and that was where they found me. So.
Okay. So first lesson of the day, right? I mean, if you don't have a Google business profile page,
get one.
Yeah. Just like I know people will be like, oh, well, that's random. That's luck. Well, you've got to create the page so that you have those lucky opportunities in the first place. So, and this was a person or a company that reached out to you?
It was a company. It was an asset management company.
Okay.
And to your point of having those pages, the Googles and the Facebook business pages, you never know who's going to be looking up information to offer, these asset management companies to find people. They need people to sell things.
Yep. I know. We just, yeah, we just filmed with a major TV network this last weekend who found us from our YouTube channel. So, that's
That's
and I'll talk about that more at a later date and time, but we're talking to Michael right now. But that's what I'm saying. You never know what opportunities could come up
yeah.
from having a presence out there online. So all right, so you got contacted by now, but this is also another lesson right there. You got contacted by an asset management company that offered you 20 homes in a package deal that you ended up selling within 3 days. But that's the key thing. Maybe this is something you could do outbound, right? You could find other asset management companies and say, hey, by the way, because you would think this company would have their own agent or somebody they've already been working with, right? Did you get into any of that, like as far as why? I mean, I know they found you, but had they not worked with somebody before, or did you understand any of that, or you're like, cool, give me 20 homes and I'll sell them?
I mean, at first, yes, and then I
Yeah.
learned who they were. And yeah, so they're not around the area; they're based out of state,
Okay.
and they didn't have any agent relationships in the state of Wisconsin. And so they said when they do that, they literally go to Google, go Facebook, businesses, and that's how they find people. Most of the time, they said that most agents won't even call them back.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
the fact that I answered my phone and I jumped at the opportunity, when I sent them back the docs that they asked for within like 72 hours, I think I turned it around in. The manager was like, well, normally this takes 2 to 3 weeks for us to receive from agents. So we're not prepared to give you all the information you're asking for yet. I'm like, all right, well, send it to me when you get a time.
Yeah. Amazing. So now have you been able to reach out to or work with some other asset management companies on some package deals?
I've made contacts with several. None of them have turned into deals, but we're building those relationships. That's key for me in my business is just building those relationships because it may not be today. They may be working with another agent right now, but sometime in the future, I know I'll get that phone call and that opportunity, and that's what I look for. So it's all about constant rain drips into them. I check in with them quarterly, drop them handwritten notes, and to see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I just talked to Brad about this too. I mean, something about versus building relationships. Look, nothing wrong with building relationships with individual homeowners, but likely you're going to get one, maybe two transactions out of them every 5 to 7 years, maybe, maybe 3 to 7 years. If you're
Yep.
lucky, you have to build a lot of relationships. And we know the conversion rate on that is small, but you build a relationship with an asset manager. That's the thing. Some people would be thinking, okay, well, that sounds like a lot of work. Well, yeah, but what if you chase after an asset manager and then in 1 year they give you 50 homes versus
Right.
a homeowner who's like, okay, I've decided to sell my $350,000 house, and you're like, man, I've been sending you cookies for a year. What are you talking about? Like it's only three. Yeah. Now, but I mean, that's a great way. You're going from one to many. You're going to the people or the companies that could bring you multiple deals, and you never know. I mean, that could be a pipeline as well. Imagine
Oh
in
yeah.
2 or 3 years, once those dominoes start to fall, what that could really mean for you. So let's move on into right now. You're working on a few other, 4 to 5 package deals, right? Is what you're doing. So
Yep.
now you're working on not only building relationships with people who have those or people or companies that have those homes to sell, but also you're working to find the investors that can buy those
Mhm.
packages. So when you sold 20 in 3 days, how did you find did you find a person or a company or who bought those? Did you sell them to multiple people or to one person?
Two people actually,
Okay.
two different sets of investors. And at first set, I called them. I knew from their social media that they did investment properties along with real estate, regular real estate. And so I called them and said, hey, this is what I got. Are you interested in it? And we know of each other. We didn't know each other at the time. And they said, yeah, when can we get together? We set up some showings. We toured every single property. And I'll tell you right now, some of those properties, they were pretty sketchy. But we walked through them, got them done. And he goes, hey, I'll take this bundle. And I put it on Facebook through my social media that I had X amount of these properties left. Anybody interested? And the next day, everybody was on. I had several people reaching out to me. I showed them. Somebody offered me cash offer right there. Sent it to the seller. They accepted it. So it was just about building that network. And since then, I've really been working on building that investor pool, that investor Rolodex for myself. And that's how I've stumbled on these other portfolios that we're working with right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So wait, people still use Facebook?
You know, I'm sorry, MySpace, I think is my,
MySpace. All right. Well, that's where you got to find the older people, right? That have the
yes,
money to buy 10 to 20 properties at once, right?
yeah, those people are on Facebook. They haven't migrated to other social medias,
Yeah.
TikTok and all that.
Exactly.
But really, it's just building that investor pool, that investor Rolodex of people that I just stay in constant contact with now.
That's awesome. So now you're working on 111 properties as a package deal. And first of all, how long have you been working on this deal?
About a week.
About a week, and
just got in it.
And how do you expect the timeline to get those deals under contract?
I believe we'll have them under contract here.
Allow me to take a quick break to remind you that we have very important links in the description below. If you want the full story of how we closed over $1 million in commissions our first year and over $2.3 million in commissions our second year, check out the first link. Also, we have the link to our #1 Amazon best-selling book, Passive Prospecting. Last, if you enjoy this podcast and you're a giving person, leave a 5-star review, please. Now back to the episode.
If you happen to know anybody. And so we're the first to the table. I can't even say where it is because, it's not done yet and you got to get contracts out there. But it just, again, goes back to that, have conversations with people.
That's amazing. 111. What's the, first of all, do you remember what the commission was for 20 properties?
I mean, vaguely, I've already spent it though.
Well, of course you have, yeah. It was spent before you even sold it, right? I mean,
well, I'm a real estate agent.
If you're a real estate agent, you spent that way ahead of time. I mean, you just got whiff of 20 properties, and you're like, oh, BMW. I mean, yeah, I'm like,
yeah. I was booking a private jet just to be like Brad. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay, so 111 out of that what the potential commissions are, right?
Yes. At the end of the day, if everything goes right, we're looking at possibly touching $1 million in commissions based on everything that we're looking at for numbers. And
yeah, think about that. So if you're watching this,
I
can't. Okay. I'm talking to everybody who's watching is saying, think about this. Think about selling 111 properties within 5 weeks, possibly close to $1 million in GCI. And really probably the same amount of work, if not, the other thing, here's the thing about investors over homeowners. It's really more of a numbers game with investors. There's a lot less emotion involved. It's more logical. It's more numbers. It's more cut and dry decision makers. I mean, they've been through the game, especially someone with 111 properties. They had to buy those in the first place, right? So they've already been through 111 transactions. So now they're kind of like, yeah, I got it. As long as the numbers work, I'm going to make, I mean, that's what most people look at as very complicated or complex or maybe too hard to work in this deal. It's probably relatively simple, right? You're really just looking for the right person.
It's as simple as selling 3 properties, 5 properties, and 100 properties. It's all about the same amount of work because, to your point, the investors are looking at numbers. The property itself is irrelevant to a point. Obviously, they want to make sure it's standing and not falling over. But you vet through that, and it really just comes down to numbers. It's math and numbers, and that's what I love about the investor side of the business. But it took me a little bit to learn that it's not emotional, like you said. You really just have to get down to brass tacks. You have to understand how investors think, and know that every investor looks at different numbers to see if it's a good deal or not. So when investors always push back to me and say, hey, is this deal worth it? I've learned quickly, hey, you run it in your calculations because I know your calculations are going to be different than mine. And they laugh and say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So whenever you are looking at those numbers, or what are you presenting to the potential buyers? Does the seller, are they giving you a spreadsheet of everything kind of tracked on there? Are you running your own numbers separately based on all the rents and the going rates and everything? Are you looking at, are any of the properties undervalued? Are you trying to sell it that way? What are some of these things you're looking at? And did the person the seller that you're working with on this, did they provide everything? And are you building it from scratch, or are you double checking things? Can you kind of talk me through that?
Yeah, so in this case, the seller did provide a lot of information. So we're able to utilize the seller's data that they have. Again, they've been doing this a long time. So they have pro formas and projections that we're able to utilize and share. Now we tweak those based on some other information, management companies and depreciation and repairs. But we're able to utilize that. But I also look at, to your point of undervalued, what is the median prices? What is the market showing for those properties? Are they better as as a single family purchase versus a rental? Because right now these are all rental properties. And so looking at what value you could bring if you parsed out a bundle of those and sold them as single families, or if you sold them to another investor as a rental income. And then we also look at the income itself, and what does that look like on an NOI basis to an investor. So it's multifaceted how you're going to present it. It really comes down to knowing your audience and knowing who you're presenting to and what their end goal is. So I've had to learn and understand what each different investor is looking for in order to position and correctly present these portfolio to them.
And did we say where this seller came from with the 100?
Yeah, through collaboration.
Okay.
It's another agent that I met from one of my listings when I first got into real estate. She's with a different firm, and we just collaborated over the last couple of years and built this really nice partnership. So anytime one of us has an idea, we'll share it with each other. And when we get these off-market opportunities, so this started by her reaching out and saying she has a couple of off-market properties for rentals. And I said, hey, I've got some investors that are growing right now and hungry. So her and I actually showed the first property. And that's when the conversation with that portfolio manager came up during that showing with that one investor. And then we kind of looked at each other, said, yep, we can do this. So we're collaborating on it together. Even though we both don't work for the same firm, it's about collaboration and trust that we've built up with each other over the last couple of years.
Nice. So are you going 50-50 with this agent on this deal?
Yes. Yep.
Cool. And then not even in the same brokerage, huh?
Nope, not even the same brokerage. We always joke and have that conversation. But at this point, we're doing great work together. We've sold several houses in the last 3 months together, co-listing them, and it works out really well for us.
Awesome. Well, maybe you can bring her over.
It'll work. It'll happen. So it's just a matter of time.
Man, you already have potential buyers. Like you said, you're pretty confident.
Yeah.
Are they just working the numbers right now, the buyers?
Yep. Talking to the lenders, talking to the situation, their accountants, and just figuring out which way they want to go about it. Again, we have several scenarios on the table. We have one set of buyers that wants to buy it and hold it, another set of buyer that wants to sell it, and then a company that actually reached out to me. So again, kind of a situation. I have a multi-million-dollar listing on the water. I had a company reach out to me and offer me a cash offer on it. I said, too good to be true, learned out who they were and how they work. Well, then I called them on this offer in this portfolio and said, hey, would you be interested? And they said, well, never done that before. I said, well, here's the numbers. And they said, yeah, we'd be interested. So we're having some more meetings with them later this week to figure out where their appetite is on it as well. Yeah. Like to have a few plans in place, because this large of a portfolio, you got to have more than one person lined up for.
These are all single family homes?
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I'm just thinking now, I don't know if it's too late for this. But this would be something I would love to fly out there and, because we've got a pretty sizable YouTube channel, and I would love to do a video on this. And just not, even if we didn't find the exact buyer for that portfolio, we could probably attract, a lot of investors that are looking for something like that. And then I could let them know, hey, by the way, we've got team members all over the country, right? And so if you're looking for these opportunities, then that way, your next big deal that pops up, we could be building our own list as well. So it could just be more people for you to market to. And then also we could help, create some content. So if you're open to that at some point, in the future, maybe we could look at that.
Hey, I'm always open to it. Let's get together. I mean, I'd love that. You're following you guys have done a great job, and I've followed you guys for a while now, since coming over, and it's amazing watching what you guys do.
Yeah, I mean, this is I don't know what you're thinking about doing on YouTube, but this is prime time YouTube content right there, is portfolio selling.
Yeah, and that's key. That is something that has been on my to-do list and something I need to get done, and it's just really controlling myself. I have a 1-year-old daughter, so that's taken a lot of time with my hands. So looking at building that up, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's talk offline about that, man. I mean, if it's, you think, I mean, we could do it even if you already have a buyer. I would still love to probably even make some content around that, because like I said, it'll just attract more and more people. And the fact is, if they call in and say, yeah, I'm interested in that, one of the best things you can do is take it away, right? Sorry, it's already under contract, but we'll let you know whenever the next deal comes up, right?
Exactly. Like, that's how I built my Rolodex.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, it's the bandit sign on steroids, right? So we create the opportunity out there, and then, hey, first come first serve though. So that's a cool opportunity. Yeah, I'd love to chat more about that. So anything else? Yeah, man, that's absolutely amazing. So how long have you been in real estate?
3 years.
3 years. So already in your second year, you did 50 transactions. That was just through normal rise and grind tactics. Yep. Okay. Yep. And now in your third year, you're stumbling on this portfolio, got an opportunity to triple your transactions in half a year to what you did in a full year. So that means you could really do some massive numbers this year. And man, I love that. I mean, I would love to work 5 weeks on 111 homes.
I mean, that's the goal, right? But again, you don't build a business around that mentality. You build it around the rise and grind, the 1 and 2 deals here and there. And this week again, I got an email from a seller that lives next door to a house that I sold a year ago, and I did some social media in that area and geofenced it and around my sale, and now they're reaching out, and I'm going to go sell a $400,000 house, which in this market is twice the median price. So I mean, those are the opportunities. But I work off the rise and the grind of the day to day, and then work on these big deals when they come up. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. All right. Anything else we didn't cover as far as what you're working on in your business and how others could get into this? I think the takeaway is really where, somebody could reach out to asset management firms, first of all, right? That would be one way. Probably local investor meetups as well. That would be another way. And then, of course, our way, which is, hey, create YouTube content around this. And I think you'll attract a huge amount of business. Actually gave me an idea that I'm going to implement right after this, so that we can start collecting and attracting a lot more investors, even with what we're doing right now. So let me see.
Levi, that's a really untapped relationship opportunity. Just based on, I put out on social media just about a fourplex that I have off market, and I've got 60 investors reaching out. And again, it's not a fit for everybody, but you build that network, and you build when they're reaching out again.
Did you post that on Facebook Marketplace?
Just my personal Facebook page.
Oh, okay. All right.
60 plus investors. I don't have it open right now, otherwise I can look at it. I think the last time I looked at it, I've got about 2,000 friends on my personal page, and I think the reach on the insights were over 1,500 people already. So 3/4 of what my base is on there. So
yeah, that's amazing, man. You gave me a lot of great ideas, and that's awesome. Well, congratulations, man. That's really cool. So do you have this in a framework or in a way that you can help others do this?
I need to do that. I need to put that together. I have it rough copied out there. But yeah, I can definitely put the framework together. If somebody was looking for help with this or how to get started, I can definitely reach out, and there's a nationwide network of investors that I can get them in touch with, and start that. But the big thing is, like you said, is just reaching out, just starting. Pick up the phone, call a hard money lender in your neighborhood, and say, who are the investors that you work with? They're a great resource as well, to find out who those investors are, and just go have coffee, have lunch, offer to purchase, buy them lunch, and start the relationships. But yeah, I'd be happy to help anybody start out.
Okay. And what we're going to do, as I mentioned in the beginning, is we're going to link all of Michael's information below, his Calendly. Yeah, you want to send me your link for Facebook? I'll get that linked in there as well, so you can connect with him. That way, again, if you want to work with Michael on this type of scenario, portfolio selling, what should we call this? Portfolio package selling? I don't know. What do you have you got to think of a spiffy name for this.
Right now it's more of just investor portfolios, but we got to come up with something. Maybe Brad can get on the creative.
There you go. So I'm going to link all of Michael's information below, because the great thing is that if you like what you're hearing, and maybe YouTube is not something you want to get into right away, Michael's within our organization at EXP, and that's what I love about about being at this brokerage, is that if you partner with Michael, you're going to partner with us as well. So not only will you get access to Michael, and if this sounds like something more up your alley, then you can start working on your business there. And then if you want to incorporate YouTube at a later time, we've got the full roadmap on how to do that step by step, and you get access to that as well at no charge. So I'm going to link all of Michael's information below, so you can reach out to him directly. And man, Michael, appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us, and again, congratulations. You've gave me quite a few ideas to work on our own business. So I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the near future.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya.
Thank you for joining us on today's podcast. If you're interested in partnering with us to access our YouTube course and coaching at no cost, schedule a call at passiveprospectingpartner.com.